Hello, everybody, and welcome to Echoes of History, where lost voices of the past finally get to speak. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing in the Egyptian desert. The wind moves slowly across endless sand. The sun rises, casting long shadows over ancient stone, and in the distance, monuments older than recorded history stand silently. For thousands of years, these structures have survived wars, storms, and the collapse of empires. But what they truly protect is not treasure, it's knowledge. Because hidden within ancient Egypt are signs of technology that should not exist. Not crude tools, not primitive engineering, but precision, planning, understanding, far beyond expectations. Historians often describe ancient Egyptians as brilliant builders, but some discoveries suggest they may have been something more. Innovators, observers of the stars, masters of measurement, and perhaps keepers of knowledge that was later lost. Tonight, we explore the technology we still cannot explain. Deep inside an ancient temple, far from sunlight, there are carvings that continue to confuse researchers. These carvings are located within Temple of Hathor. The chamber is narrow, the ceiling is low, and the walls are covered in detailed reliefs. Among these images, one design stands out. It resembles a large glass bulb. Inside, a serpent-like shape curves forward. Below it, a structure that looks like a support base. Some researchers believe this resembles an early electric lamp. At first glance, the comparison sounds unlikely. After all, electricity is considered a modern discovery. But the deeper investigators looked, the more questions appeared, because the chamber where these carvings exist shows no signs of smoke damage, no soot, no burn marks, no residue from oil lamps. And yet, the carvings are extremely detailed. To create such precision, artists needed light, strong, consistent light, but torches would have filled the chamber with smoke. Over time, the walls would darken, but they didn't, which raises an unusual possibility. What if the ancient Egyptians used a different form of illumination? Some researchers propose they experimented with electricity, not large power grids, but small controlled sources, enough to produce light. Others argue the carvings are purely symbolic, representations of mythological ideas, but even symbolic interpretations do not explain the lack of soot. This mystery remains unresolved, and it forces us to ask, were the ancient Egyptians experimenting with technology far earlier than we believed? Hidden beneath the desert, far from the towering pyramids, lies one of the most puzzling discoveries in ancient Egypt. Hundreds of stone vessels, not broken, not rough, but perfectly shaped. These artifacts were found near the step pyramid of Djoser. At first, they appeared simple, just decorative containers. But when researchers examined them closely, they noticed something extraordinary. Each vase was symmetrical, not approximately symmetrical, but perfectly balanced. The curves matched on both sides. The openings were centered, the walls were evenly thin. Some were carved from limestone, others from granite, and even harder stones. Granite is extremely difficult to shape. Even modern craftsmen use power tools. But these vases were carved thousands of years ago, without electricity, without modern machinery. And yet, their surfaces are smooth, polished, uniform. Engineers scanned several examples, using precision instruments. The results were shocking. Some vases showed rotational symmetry, the kind produced by a lathe, a machine that spins material while cutting it evenly. But no such machines existed in ancient Egypt, or at least none have been found. Even more mysterious, some vases have extremely thin necks, too narrow for simple hand carving, and yet the interior is hollow, smooth all the way down. How did they carve inside without breaking the stone? This question remains unanswered. Some historians suggest they used sand and manual grinding, But experiments show this would take years for a single piece, and still, the precision would be lower. Yet ancient Egyptians produced hundreds of them, which suggests a repeatable process, a technique, a method that has not survived. These stone vessels sit quietly in museums today, small objects with enormous implications, because they challenge our understanding of ancient capability. Were they using advanced tools, or did they possess skills we have forgotten? The answer remains buried in time. Across the desert, the pyramids stand in silence, but their placement is not random. At Giza Plateau, 3 pyramids form a pattern that closely resembles Orion's belt. The alignment is remarkably precise. To achieve this, builders needed to track stars. Night after night, they needed calculations, measurements, planning, without telescopes, without modern instruments. Yet they succeeded, which suggests astronomical knowledge far beyond expectation. Deep underground, inside the Serapeum of Saqqara, massive granite boxes rest in darkness, each weighing over 60 tons. Their surfaces, perfectly smooth, corners, incredibly sharp. Engineers measured them and found near-perfect accuracy, no decoration, no explanation, only precision. Why build such objects with this level of perfection? No one knows. When all these discoveries combine, a picture begins to form. Possible electricity, perfect symmetry, astronomical alignment, engineering precision. Individually, they are mysteries. Together, they suggest something more. A civilization with knowledge we still don't fully understand. Perhaps the technology was simple, but the understanding was advanced. And over time, that knowledge disappeared, leaving behind only silent stone and unanswered questions. Because ancient Egypt may not just be history, it may be forgotten technology.